Good day, gentlemen. Today I'm going to be discussing with you the art of attracting women. And it's twofold. One is just being the caliber of man who has the courage, overcoming your fear, and being able to approach a woman that you're interested in. 95% of men are unwilling and unable to do this out of fear of rejection. The other part to this, gentlemen, is becoming a high-value man, a man that is worthwhile in the woman's eyes, but also becoming the man that you aspire to be, the man that you respect, so that you have your own self-worth, your own dignity, integrity, and then that radiates from you, and then people can see that, they can sense that, women can sense that. So first off, I'm going to talk to you, gentlemen, about approaching women. Now, it's just like sales, right? If any of you guys have ever had a sales job, a tough sales job, you learn pretty quick that you learn so much, you grow so much as a result of overcoming the fear of rejection in sales. And it's exactly the same with women. Once you overcome this fear of rejection, right, then the world really is your oyster. Like I said, 99% of men cannot do this. 99% of men cannot have not overcome their fear of rejection, right? So this is something that, even if you are a high value man, if you're not able to overcome, you may be a millionaire, right? But if you cannot approach the woman that you desire, you've got work to do. All right. So myself, I've approached tens of thousands of women over the years. Okay. It's nothing for me to be rejected by a woman. I really do not care. I know who I am. It means nothing to me, right? You want to be the same, gentlemen. You don't want to have a fear of being rejected by a woman. It's literally a superpower, especially when compared to other men who are in fear of that, right? That's most men's greatest fear. I'm in Seoul, Korea here. You can see the folks walking by. Now, arguably, South Korean women are the hardest women to approach in the entire world. They're oftentimes quite rude, etc., etc. When you've done this, like I said, a couple 10,000 times, it's really something that you've got such game, you've got such charisma that you can penetrate almost anyone, especially if you're in the flow state, right? But guys, okay, some practicality. How do you overcome your fear, right? Well, start talking to everyone, start acknowledging your fellow human beings, whether they're old or young. And I know a lot of you are going to reject this information. You say, I don't give a damn about acknowledging the old woman in the convenience store. I'm telling you, gentlemen, acknowledge your fellow humanity, get used to being social, and do that as often as you can wherever you are. Just be outgoing and kind to people. You get used to doing this, you get used to spreading good energy, and you have that magnetism. You get used to practicing your magnetism, your charisma, and it's great to practice on old grandmas and other men, young people. You're just basically adding value to folks' life. Then when you see a woman that you're actually interested in, it makes it that much easier. And even more so if you are approaching on a regular basis women that you are interested in. And gentlemen, here's the secret of this video. Listen very, very, very carefully, okay? All of us, most all men have had issues with this approaching women, right? Approach anxiety, right? Frame it like this in your mind, okay? Think to yourself, if I approach this woman that I'm interested in, right? I won, right? Frame it like that in your mind, okay? Frame it as a win if you approach her. Do not be attached to the outcome. Get used to doing that. If you're approaching enough women, you won't care what one of them says because you'll be approaching others as well. They're all around us, right? So frame it in your mind as a win if gentlemen, you overcome your fear. If you overcome your fear and you approach the woman you wanted to approach, even though you might have been nervous, you won. Okay? It may not go perfectly, but it may, right? And the more you do it, the more you'll get comfortable with that, the more likely it is when you meet the girl you really want, you'll be able to attract her. You won't stutter. You won't get caught up on your voice. You won't hesitate. You'll be able to embody that masculine presence of poise, okay? One other small tip I used to do in sales as well. I've mentioned this in some of the other videos, but just take a deep breath into the abdomen. Keep yourself calm. You'll feel yourself get a little bit anxious. Just take a second to breathe. Speak slowly. Regulate the cadence. He who regulates the pace of the conversation and the pace of his enunciation is the one who's holding frame and leading the conversation. Okay, gentlemen? So take a deep breath, when you find yourself getting anxious. But get used to doing that. Get used to doing things that are uncomfortable. Okay? Same thing with the physicality, getting in the gym. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's where we grow as men. Okay? Is in the uncomfortable state. No progress is made in a comfortable state, gentlemen. Okay? You're not going to grow as a person. You're not going to become more. You're not going to expand. You're not going to evolve if you're not getting out of your comfort zone. Don't look to be comfortable. Okay, gentlemen? Fall in love with discomfort and growth, expansion, evolution. Okay? That in and of itself, the growth in and of itself, in all aspects of life. If you do this long enough, gentlemen, not just approaching women, right? Not just attracting women, but if you are growing as a person, you'll fall in love with the process, okay? Which brings me to the second point of attracting women, okay? And that is you yourself leveling up as a man. And again, that comes back to doing the hard things, okay? Getting comfortable with doing the hard things, increasing your value, okay? Putting on some mass, putting on some muscle, becoming a stronger man, a more dominant man, a more capable man, right? What can you do to grow your own confidence, right? Abstaining from porn, abstaining from masturbation. All these things will build your confidence. They will increase your self-worth. And then that will help you when you are, let's say, approaching a woman you're interested in, gentlemen. Again, the no-fap thing and holding and retaining your seed, gentlemen, this cannot be understated. This is in Sanskrit, in India, the sacred language of Sanskrit, this is known as brahmacharya. And there's something really, really powerful about it, gentlemen. I'll say that. Also, gentlemen, growing your net worth, starting a business, becoming financially independent, or becoming wealthy, right? This will also increase your self-worth and your self-confidence, right? If you're young, if you're, let's say, 15 to 25 years old, I'd recommend you getting in a sales job, a direct sales job, not something that's easy, not something where the customers are coming to you, but an outbound sales job where you may be knocking on people's doors or you're knocking on business owners' doors, where you are going to be faced with rejection. And this is going to help you to grow as a man. It's going to help you with your social skills and how to calibrate with business owners. And that will translate into attracting women and calibrating with them as well. We've had a little rain here in this video, but I haven't let it faze me. As you can see, people are walking around with umbrellas. It's pretty light. People like to pull out the umbrellas if they think it's even going to rain here in South Korea. That's just how the Koreans are. But, gentlemen, be a man that does tough things. Give yourself challenges, Wake up in the morning and say, damn it, I'm going to do 500 push-ups today. Something beyond what you've ever done. Say, I'm going to hitchhike through Mexico. Do things that are outrageous, that once you've done them, you will have automatically grown as a person. You will have become more as a result of doing so. I myself, I let go of all material possession. I started traveling the world. I hitchhiked with somewhere around 700-800 people. And, later I recorded my CD. I used to travel as a musician in Asia. And I had the background in sales. I knew I could just hustle my CD if I really had to. And that's exactly what I did. I also performed for folks as well. And then hustled my CD. But, that gave me an immense amount of confidence. Earlier, when I was 16, 17 years old, gentlemen, I did door-to-door sales. And, I made more money than my teachers made when I was in school as a high school student, right? Because I was in direct sales. And, that gave me an immense amount of confidence, doing something that was very, very difficult, but dedicating myself to it. And I highly recommend you gentlemen to do the same. How can you increase your value as a man? Get out and travel. Understand and know the world that you actually live in. This is I highly encourage you gentlemen to travel. You don't need a lot of money to do it, but especially if you're in your young 20s, get out and see the world. You don't have to do it in a fancy way. Many gurus out there will tell you, make money in your 20s. Make as much money as you can. Focus, reject women. Focus on grinding in your 20s. I say travel in your 20s. You're never going to have that much energy. You're never going to have that much resilience. From the time of 18, like they do in much of Europe, and the Aussies do as well. Israelis do as well. And take a gap year. They travel for an entire year. Do that, gentlemen. Do that. Go travel. I can promise you it will be the very best education that you could possibly get. Travel is the best education. When you know the world that you live in, when you intimately understand the world that you live in, you have an air of confidence that cannot be bought, right? If you can relate to people of all cultures, you understand how things move and operate all around the world. Few men have that knowledge and wisdom, right? And it's not all the same everywhere, gentlemen. So get out and see your world, especially, like I said, if you're younger. Another thing, gentlemen, that you can do nowadays. Now, I myself am not a huge fan of social media. I'm not attracted to it per se. However, in today's market for attracting women are very much drawn to status, and I have seen firsthand where women will be totally into someone, and then they'll see their social media, right? And it doesn't have as many followers as they thought that it certainly would, and they instantly lose interest. It's extremely shallow, but that's how these younger women do think these days. Not all of them, but many of them. They are, their world is that social media, the social media platforms, right? TikTok, Instagram, whatever it may be. Maybe, this is one of the most shallow recommendations I could possibly give. I'm not going to do it myself, but maybe you just buy some fake followers, guys. Because these women, they are attracted to status, whether it's a fake status or not, okay? But ideally, gentlemen, you want to be the real deal. If you're the real deal, the social media and stuff isn't even necessary. They don't never even need to see it, all right? Ideally, gentlemen, if you want to have leverage, if you want to have power as a man, you cannot be in the bottom 50 percentile of men. You're going to be at the whim of a woman, if you even have one. Okay? You're going to be at their beck and call. You're going to have no power, right? Ideally, you need to be in the top 10%. Ideally in the top 5%. And for you and for me, look, ideally we're shooting for the top 1%, right? I heard a gentleman mention this recently, and I love this analogy, okay? You've got a pyramid, right? And here on the top, you've got 1%. This is attraction, right? This is the attraction market, the dating market, right? Okay, on the top of the pyramid, you've got the top 1% of men, okay? Below that, you have all women, okay? And below that, you have the other 99% of men, okay? So these 99% of men are all trying to get the women, but the women, all the women, are shooting for the top 1%. I think it's pretty well true. It might expand a bit, the younger generations, sometimes they're just after, the cutest boy in their class or whatnot. But I think it's very true, gentlemen. It has a lot of truth to it. All men are chasing women, but the top 1% of men don't have to chase women, right? They're just showing up. The women are chasing them, right? That's where you want to be, gentlemen. So, in closing here, I want to remind you to take your effing shot. Okay, you see a woman you're interested in, you have every right as a man to say hi. There shouldn't be anything illegal about saying hi to someone you're interested in, okay? You have every right as a man to say hi to a woman you're interested in. So take your shot, gentlemen. Say hi to a girl you're interested in. And get used to doing it. And you know what? Fall in love with rejection. I know, as crazy as it sounds, you want to become immune to it. If you can overcome the greatest fear that all men have, you're in a class of your own, gentlemen. You are separating yourself from the pack, because not many men can do it. I hang out with a lot of high earners, high achievers, a lot of them millionaire status, plus. Most of them have this fear. They still have it, right? This is a secret power that anybody can grasp. Anybody can cultivate this fear, overcoming the fear of rejection, gentlemen. Now, for women, their greatest fear, okay, is a man, let's say, attacking them, raping them, or whatnot, right? So, for you as a man in attracting women, right, it's important to make the woman feel comfortable. Okay, so you have to calibrate emotionally and let that woman know that she's safe. Okay, and then you can move the interaction forward from there. But it also pays. That's why this is an art, gentlemen. The art of attracting women, because you don't want to play it too safe. That's not attractive, right? That shows someone who's scared, right? You don't want to come off as someone who's scared. You want to come off as someone who doesn't care, who's untethered, unfeathered by rejection, right? So you just do not care. You're outcome independent, right? You don't care. All right. So take your shot. Get used to fall in love with rejection. Frame it, gentlemen, so that if you approach a woman you're interested in, you already won, regardless of what that outcome is. And go ahead and ask for the social media. Go ahead and say, what's your Instagram, dear? Boom. What's your Instagram? Boom. Okay. Move the interaction forward. Keep the ball moving down the field. Okay. All right. I think that about sums it up. Get out into the world, gentlemen. Another thing, a lot of you don't live in the cities. Get out into the cities where the people are, where the hot women are that you want to talk to, the university towns and this, that, and the other. And, you know, you may have to go to them. You may have to travel a bit, right? But get out into the world. Get around the type of women that you're interested in. And do not be reliant on these online platforms, these online dating platforms, gentlemen. Because even if you do meet a woman this way, if you're not the real deal, she's going to sense that, and you're going to have a world of headaches and a world of heartbreak as well, gentlemen. So even when you do find the woman that you love, okay, and you find someone you want a relationship with, never stop up-leveling yourself. Never stop working out. Never get comfortable, gentlemen. Women are hypergamous by nature, so they're always looking for the best deal they can find, right? So be the best man you can be, right? That is the antidote to hypergamy, okay? All right. Signing off from Seoul, Korea. This is Lawrenceofasia. Peace, gentlemen. God bless. Stay sharp.